right, Clayton, thanks. Quarter till the top of the hour. As the threat of airport attacks grows and we recover from the worst terror attack since 9/11, how do we keep our country more safe? Well, more Americans say the answer is profiling.
There's a new Fox News poll that shows that 59% of Americans think profiling is the key to a safer America. That is more than weapons or a proposed Muslim ban. But is it constitutional?
Well, here to weigh in, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, founder and president of the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, and Rod Wheeler, former D.C. detective and Fox News contributor. Dr. Jasser, I'll start with you. You say that this should actually be called smart police work rather than profiling. What do you mean?
Well, when you call it profiling, it immediately thinks that you're going to have two lines at security, one for Muslims, one for non-Muslims. That just doesn't work. I mean, the Israelis have proved that the way to do this is with smart police work. Yes, profile, but profile the whole package. What's their behavior? What's their social media network? Why are they there? Who are their contacts? What's the purpose of their visit? Where have they traveled before? We should broaden the perimeter to airports. A lot of that is part of profiling the entire person, and not just a faith identity, but not call it faith, call it a theopolitical ideology. I testified to the Senate earlier this week that we are losing this war because of the blindness to jihadism and Islamism. So yes, that poll shows that people are aware that, I think actually as a Muslim, bigotry will melt away if we start to look at these precursors, and Americans get it. Unfortunately, our government doesn't.
And Rod, you think that some kind of profiling, just basically trying to ID bad guys before they attack, could save lives, right, but that there's a reason the administration doesn't want law enforcement to do it. What is that?
Well, you know, there's a couple of things. I think my co-panelist is absolutely correct. We do need to profile, but the term that I've been using, Peter, is intelligent profiling. And simply, what that simply is looking at all of the parameters, a number of variables that would identify these individuals before the crime is committed. You know, in law enforcement, Peter, historically, we use what we call criminal profiling, and we develop a criminal profile after the crime. So what I'm suggesting now with intelligent profiling is let's utilize that same predictive analysis, linkage analysis, and identify these individuals before the crime occurs. When we look at Omar Mateen down at the Pulse nightclub, we could have predicted his behavior before that shooting if we would have used intelligent profiling.
All right, and Dr. Jasser, of course, the left would say that profiling is not fair and that it would increase Islamophobia in the United States if that were put into practice. You just said a moment ago that it would actually melt away Islamophobia. How?
Well, because I think what Americans would see is that Muslims that are anti-Islamist, that don't have anything to hide, are the head of the spear and are the part of the solution. So actually letting Americans become educated that we're not just countering violent extremism, which I don't know what that is, but as I testified this week, we should counter violent Islamism. And once you identify the ideology, you can pick up on the precursors and connect the fact that Omar Mateen's dad, who was a Taliban supporter, is relevant. And that's the precursors that so far this inability to profile ideology has left us so bare.
And Rod, last word to you. Is profiling really that much more invasive than having TSA agents put their hands on you or go through a bag and touch your underwear?
You know, we could do a lot more if we were to intelligently profile versus what the TSA is doing now. You know, we talk a lot about the TSA and their actions or inactions at the airports. You know, I think they're doing the best job they can. Real quickly, though, Peter, the government has got to recognize what this is in terms of this extremism, call it what it is, and then let's address the problem. And until President Obama, because that's where the buck stops, until he recognizes that, unfortunately, we're going to continue to endure and see the things that we've been seeing over the past few months, Peter.
Name your enemy to defeat your enemy. Rod Wheeler, thank you so much. Right. And Dr. Zuhdi Jasser, thank you so much, and have a happy 4th of July weekend.